Okay.
All right. Hello.
Hello, Andy. How's it
Jinx.
going?
Now you can't talk until I say your name. Well,
Okay. For our 64th episode, we decided we would redesign the Nintendo 64 logo, which you can find on our Instagram at Deskpopcast. We give our final thoughts on Paper Mario: The Origami King, and we discuss our prime vacation spots across all of the Nintendo-verse. This is Deskpop.
all right. Well, first off, howdly doodly.
How's
Bryan,
it going? How's it going?
You can't counter my howdy with a how's it going. I asked you first, but I'll answer your question. I'm doing okay.
That's great. I'm doing great.
Yeah, Paper Mario, our journey in the Paper Kingdom has come to an end, sadly. We'll kind of discuss our final thoughts on it in a little bit, but
it's been quite the Deskpop saga.
Yeah.
This is the third and final episode of our Paper Mario: The Origami King coverage.
Yeah, this is it. This is saying goodbye to an old friend, putting him down to rest until
an old friend we've known for 2 or 3 weeks.
It's like E.T. You know, he was only there for a week, but he made such an impression on all those.
It's about the impact.
Yeah, the journey is the destination, and but yeah, that I'm done with that, and I'm currently going through some training for a new job that that I was fortunate enough to snag, and it's been a lot, but I'm looking forward to getting started.
That's awesome.
Yeah, what have you been up to?
Just binge watched a lot of TV. I've worked, and I think I'm finally. This is like the second era of binge watching television that I've had since the stay-at-home order. I feel like. I think in the beginning I had like an era of like catching up on a lot of movies that I missed, and now I am looking for TV shows. I finished the second season of Umbrella Academy recently. I also am on the last season of Shameless. So I'll probably be finishing something else in the future.
Nice. You'll have
like tomorrow.
I'm assuming if any of those if you thought they were up my alley, you're welcome to recommend them. Umbrella Academy, yeah. I tried getting into it, couldn't do it. No,
I like that one. That's the one I would recommend for you to watch, probably.
I feel like that slot is just taken up by the X-Men movies and then the Amazon series The Boys. Like I feel like both of those kind of fill up that, so I don't have room.
Sure.
But
yeah. Did you ever see Sense8 on Netflix?
No.
Did you ever watch that? Okay. It's kind of like a superhero version of that. I mean, not really, but like feels like they're I don't know. It's like when people call things like a spiritual successor.
Oh, okay.
That's kind
of
like
the same.
Like it gives you the same feelings, and there's a lot of like, I don't know.
Okay.
I in my mind, my bad brain, I group them together. So, but no, I really enjoy it. It's good. Other than that, just been, psyching myself up to maybe play Persona 5 eventually again.
Nice. Aren't we all? I feel like we're either we're playing Persona 5 or we're not. Those are the two states.
Two types of people in this world.
Yeah, at all
you're either
times.
Playing Persona 5 or you're not.
And it's true. Think about it. And speaking of just numbers in general, this is our 64th episode of Deskpop.
It is indeed.
And we've done quite the special thing for this episode. We've decided to honor the number 64 by rebranding the Nintendo 64 console with our own takes of its logo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll let you go first and kind of
okay.
kind of briefly go over your
Sure.
thing.
Sure. So I sent you, which we may or may not post on the screen, but they'll definitely be on our Instagram if you want to just pull that up real quick while we're talking. Uh, at Deskpopcast on all social media platforms. Let's see. Let me open my images. So I went in a couple different directions with my sketches. I really wanted to use some piece of the, like some iconography of like the actual like controller or like the game cartridge tombstone shape or something. I wanted to incorporate something into the logo, kind of in the same way that I feel like the GameCube is like it. That logo I feel like perfectly encapsulates like what GameCube is.
Yeah.
N64, I don't know if anyone looking at that would like assume that that's a Nintendo 64. So I was like, okay, let me do a couple different variations. I ultimately landed on this like N shape in front of this like octagon, which is where like the joystick is.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that
I
shape, and I
really
feel like
like that idea. That's a fun
it's
concept.
like that's the thing when I think of the N64, like that joystick, that like thing. I feel like is one of the most like iconic in the way that it sets it apart from other things.
Yeah.
Besides the like try
The
handle.
Triton
Yeah.
design, yeah.
Oh, that would have been cool to do like a trident.
That
Huh.
was
Oh
my
well.
first thought with the
Oh
Triton, and
yeah.
I just could not, because I was like, man, then I'm like making
Mm.
it. It was so hard for me to try to make a Triton image and then not just go
Mm.
full into like sea based
Yeah.
imagery, so I just had to abandon it. But yeah,
Yeah. Do you want to talk about yours?
sure. So I have basically two major concepts. I have I pulled the original colors from the Nintendo 64.
Mm.
I really approached this as if the Nintendo 64 had never come out. It's coming out now.
Mm.
So I figured instead of pushing for like 64 polygons,
Mm.
because that's, in the days we live in, graphics don't really matter. What other features does this console have that sets it apart? And I'm like, this weird ass fucking controller.
Mm.
So I have one logo that just really emphasizes the three sections of the controller, and it emphasizes that in the same way that the Switch logo kind of
Mm.
showcases the Joy-Con. I figured you could, well, look at all the different ways you can play because of the three different things on the controller. Um, I also made like this very kind of retro 90s esque low poly
Mm.
blocks. And when you put, they're all the same shape, but when it's right side up, it's a 4, and when it's upside down, it's a
Mm.
6. And then when you put them next to each other, it makes an outline of an N. So I thought that
Mm.
was kind of neat playing with empty space. And then there's one logo that has 4 of those, which emphasizes like the Nintendo 64 was the last console that had a billion different colors when it came out, which is cool.
Yeah.
And then it was also the first console that was like 4 players. So
Mm.
uh, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
We had a very short amount of time that we
Yeah,
did this
I
as well, so
I'm happy with how it turned out and the amount of time that I spent on it.
mm.
It's definitely not finished. It's a
It's a fun
concept. Yeah,
exercise. Yeah, I feel like we should do stuff more like that in the future.
yeah, but just
We'll maybe
props.
find a better way to incorporate it so that way people who are just listening can also.
Mm-hmm. I'd like
I
to
don't
screen
know.
capture my process next time and like do a time lapse similar to Zimri
Yeah,
Mayfield and how he does those. But
that'd be cool.
yeah, it just goes to show that the 64 logo, I thought it was very retro. And it is, but it is aged
Mm.
so well. The GameCube logo, it if I looked at that compared to like the PlayStation and Xbox logos, the GameCube logo kind of visibly aged. Like it kind of focuses on those like
Mm.
gradients and like that 3-dimensional shading. But the Nintendo
Sure.
64 logo, like it's just very timeless to me. It's like kind of
I like.
flat, but
I don't like the primary colors. That was something that I tried to use in the beginning. I didn't feel like I was successful, so I I looked at like the N64 logo when it was just in black and white, and I think that that's actually much more successful. And I get why they used 4 colors, like to make it more of a 3 dimensional looking product, but I just think with the black and white it looks so much cooler. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, anyway, what do you guys think? I'm not. I am not. We're not pitting the logos against each other.
I was gonna say
I'm
this
not.
is getting weird.
I'm not doing that. But feel free to share your
Vote in
thoughts
the
on.
comments.
Feel free to share your thoughts on both of them,
Yeah.
below.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a favorite, keep it to yourself because I don't.
No one wants to hear it.
Nobody. Yeah. But anywho, let's go ahead and jump off to what's next. It's either what are we doing, Paper Mario or
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah, let's finish it off. Let's put it in the grave. Put it in the ground.
All right.
Bury it.
Let's. I was gonna say something like, "Oh, let's flatten the."
Let's rip this paper to shreds.
What is the heart monitor thing? Flatten the little line.
Flat line.
Flat
Yeah,
line.
flat line.
Yeah, because paper's flat. My brain is so fucking large for coming up with that pun. You're welcome. But
yeah, so we both finished the game. I will say, kind of right off the bat, my feelings have not really changed. I enjoyed the game. It did get a little at the end, like I felt like it was just kind of boss battle,
mm-hmm.
rather than like any sort of like puzzle or like like the rest of the game had done. So that was a little disappointing. I feel like there might have been some crunch there, and they might have just kind of maybe ditched some things. It felt like, and like the way I was playing, I mean, maybe that's the experience they wanted the user to have.
It was definitely
playing,
it was definitely boom, boom, boom.
But it definitely just something about it felt incomplete to me. But
Mm-hmm.
overall, I enjoyed the game. I liked it.
Yeah, I have similar thoughts. I thought the ending it flew by, and stick out moments to me. There's a shooter segment where you're on Bowser's airship and you're shooting bombs, and this is like after the whole Bobby thing happened, and so that was just really weird to like.
Yeah,
like it was such an emotional moment to him blowing himself up, and now I'm killing all these other bombs by shooting him at these other things. So I thought that was weird. Bowser is just the best part of this game. His dialogue is really funny.
Bowser's my favorite.
The boss fight was it. So I fought the ice elemental after, and that was an interesting puzzle element of breaking the ice by sliding it forward and backwards.
Yeah,
there wasn't a aha moment of figuring out how to beat the final boss. It was like, oh, he's turning into the things that we can turn into, and you gotta. That was a little disappointing. He didn't have some, he had like slight variations with each elemental he turned into, but like that, I don't know. That was a little disappointing. They started throwing some creepy new enemies at you. The paper shredded people,
the cutouts. Yeah,
they were terrifying for a little bit.
Yeah,
I liked it.
I think that was a good touch.
I'm rambling, but to kind of conclude my trail, my very scattered trail here. My opinion ultimately hasn't changed. It's okay. It's like rating a Pixar movie. By saying this one's your least favorite, it doesn't mean it's bad. It just
still means like it's an enjoyable thing, and
I still
probably would recommend it to people, but it's just not.
It's my fourth
the best
favorite
thing in the world. Sure, yeah.
The first three are just so good in my eyes, but this one, it's a very it's number 4. It's not close, but it's number 4. I got my fix.
Yeah, it's disappointing to me because like I don't have really other Paper Mario games to compare it to. We've talked about. I've played a little bit of Super Paper Mario, and that's kind of it. But I just feel like comparing it to something maybe like Mario Odyssey, which is something like the last couple of years that I played, probably the most recent Mario game I played before this one.
Yeah,
I'm like, Mario Odyssey was so fun the entire way through, and like there were just so many things to discover and find, and this one felt very. It's hard to not let the interviews that we've heard like get in my head, make
Yeah.
me think that they like there maybe was other stuff that they had planned or wanted to do and they weren't able to. Because obviously I'm not privy to that information, so
Sure.
I can't make that just, I don't know. I can't say that, but it just feels like Odyssey had all these moments. It had so many peaks and valleys, and like the ending is like the final level is so amazing, and like it felt very like climactic, I guess, and
Hmm.
this one felt kind of anticlimactic.
What it's kind of like there's a man, what is his name? I'm so upset that I've forgotten his name. He makes video essays, and he reviewed the Mario games, and he was saying how Mario Sunshine, it based its levels in realism. So they wanted
Mm,
all the platforms and all the levels to feel like it was a cohesive world. So instead of floating
mm,
platforms, you're on a Ferris wheel and stuff.
yeah,
And so that limited what they could do
yeah.
creative wise, because they're and Paper Mario felt that way because Mario Odyssey, you're getting in a ship and you're just flying to a different continent, and then the
Well,
even
it was like whatever rules you learn in one place like could be totally different
yeah,
like whenever you go to a new world.
and
So
like the visuals, like the
yeah.
place in your background right now, the cooking kingdom, it looked
Mhm.
every place looked so visually different, so it was so
Yeah.
exciting to like, oh, where am I going next? Paper Mario, there obviously there's visual differences, but since it was one cohesive world, it felt like very safe. They were playing it very
Yeah.
safe. The Samurai Studio area, the theme park, that was like the most creative and like fun area
Mhm.
that I went to. The rest of it was just pretty generic, like oh Mario Desert, going island settings and stuff.
Mhm.
So I wish that they maybe not overboard like Odyssey, but I wish they would have had a little bit more fun with the locales.
Mhm. I feel like they tried definitely with like the desert, and you have like sandpaper, and then you have this like I think there were moments where I could see that they were trying things, but
Hmm.
it just none of it felt like it
Like the
was.
Vegas area was kind of neat too.
Yeah, like there were cool moments, but I just I think one of my big problems too, and this is like I know I'm saying things I don't like, but keep in mind what we said earlier. I enjoyed the game, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just
It's always
there.
easier to remember the bad stuff anyways,
Mhm.
like so.
I The ice fight really frustrated me. I was playing it. Aaron was next to me. It was very frustrating because I had never in a boss fight like I had used the controls to do that sort of movement. I don't know how to describe what
Slide.
I know what.
I think
Yeah, slide
I'm
instead
just gonna
of
call it slide. I don't know if that's the official name.
that's yeah. Instead of rotating the wheel, the battle wheel, you're supposed to slide the blocks forward basically. And so I had never done that in a boss fight, and so I was like so confused, and I wasted turn after turn after turn trying to figure it out. I tried like everything. I had never thought to do that in a boss fight because I just never needed to up until that point, and so that was frustrating to me because thinking back now, I'm like, you and I have already talked a little bit, but it makes me, it annoys me a little bit that at no point do you face enemies that have like smaller versions of the powers that you fight later. All the like, I guess vanilla enemies, like the bland like battles, are just all like the same
And
thing.
they
There's not
usually
a lot
fall
of
into the same
variation.
configurations too. Whenever there's like
Yeah,
you kill one or two and there's four left, and they'll always jump into like
yeah,
one of four different
yeah.
variations. You're like, oh, well, I've solved this before, so I know the answer.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I just like it would be helpful. Obviously, it's not hard. Like it's not hard to figure out. It maybe I don't know how long it took me, but it wasn't the hardest boss fight I've ever done, in a video game. But it just was frustrating that I didn't feel like I had the tools to do it because the game had never asked me to do that before. And so I'm like, I think that's a shortcoming because they could have been doing that the entire time. They could have,
Especially
had
up
an
until
enemy.
this point, they're babying you with very simple puzzles
Yeah,
beforehand.
yes, and then you get to the ice one, and it's the most difficult one. I think out of all the elementals, just because it didn't there were a lot of moving parts compared to the other fights where it felt like there was like one mechanic that you counter and that's it, and then the ice one is more complicated. But anyway, so that's kind of my main issue. I think that there were better things they could have done to prepare players for the game without holding their hand, just being like, oh hey, this is something you might encounter later, like, you know,
Yeah.
learn to do it now, and then that we'll add another thing on top of that to give it a spin or something later. But whatever.
Yeah, it is just it was an experience. Giving it a fresh coat of paint and just having like and I'll keep this part of my thoughts very short because I really drill this every time, but just having some original characters in here would have really have helped me have a more positive experience with this. Like because there have been lots of instances, and this is almost one of them, where a game's visuals will be so appealing to me that I'd be willing to look past a lot of its flaws because I just really enjoy experiencing the art style and like seeing all the different characters this game has to offer. And my experience definitely would have been enhanced had that happened. The creator of the Origami guys it's just like a toad.
We talked about that. That's so disappointing. I feel like there's so many other things they could have done with that. Just revealing that it was just a regular toad was kind of like, I can see it being like, oh, like it subverts expectations, but it really doesn't, because
it could have just been a human hand, like human hands.
It could have been Master weird. Hand from the Smash Brothers universe.
Then they all Kirby Air Ride and Master Chief.
And then, so they do the Master Hand tie-in, and then they add Paper Mario as the next fighter, and then everyone's happy.
Well, my crazy out there desire for that scene would have been, so there was a Mario and Luigi crossover with Paper Mario, and it starts off with, it turns out that the Paper Mario world is in like is just a book on a bookshelf, and Luigi accidentally knocks it over, and it unleashes all the paper people onto the Mushroom Kingdom. It would have been interesting if you find out that Luigi had been like super into origami or something, and he'd been like just accidentally or for one reason or another putting them back into the Paper Mario book. And so you find out it was like real Luigi who'd been making these monsters that Paper Mario was having to handle. I think that would have been a nice callback to the crossover, but I feel like that's asking for a lot. And it's also asking them to acknowledge another series in which the studio making it is shut down. So, but that would have been really funny. That would have been
I just think there's a lot of missed opportunities of anything they could have done, and I think they were probably limited just based on what we've heard, based on the interviews, based on the fact that they're not allowed to. It's so confusing to me still. Like, okay, they can make characters, but they just can't be a part of the universe, so they have to be like stationary objects, and like so that's their way to do that.
They can't show gender or age, which is weird because Toadette is a thing, like that is canon. And also Toadsworth has a mustache, so like facial hair is a thing. It's very strange. And not only that, but it makes me wonder if Nintendo's really pushing the use of limited Mario characters. Because again, looking at your background and just thinking Mario Odyssey, there was a large plethora of new creatures in that game, and those could have been translated to paper and put in this game, and they wouldn't have infringed and made a new original character. You could have had those like skull people from the desert in that desert area of Paper Mario, and that would have been really cool to see those guys again and see them integrated in some other stuff, because we haven't seen them really.
Yep.
Anyway,
probably never will again.
I'm wanting to say they were in Mario Tennis, but I don't know. I don't think they were. But
anyway,
it's sad to see.
How did you feel about the like ending? We're gonna spoil the game, I think. So if you don't want to hear that, skip ahead, I guess.
I wasn't expecting much for the ending. I felt pretty predictable for me. When she made the wish, I was like, okay, I know where this is going. Like, it's just, it was just very. It felt like a parent telling a bedtime story. Just like everything magically works
And then
out.
everything was fine.
Yeah.
There was nothing impacted in the world.
Yeah.
Just like every good story.
I can't wait for the next Paper Mario game in which he comes to the blank festival that happens once every blank years, which is the plot of Sticker Star and this, and then Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2, and like every...
Is it really?
Yeah,
Jeez.
it's like every Mario game starts with some fucking festival, or Peach being like, "Oh, do you want some cake? Wink, wink." I don't know, man.
She's pointing at her ass. Yeah. No, I don't know. Apparently, you beat Ollie. You fold him into the last paper crane to make it that's something that was like, I kind of wish that they had talked about the paper crane stuff at any other point throughout the game, because it felt like we need an ending. How do we make it end? Like,
Yeah.
We'll make a wish. We'll make them fold the last paper crane out of 1,000 paper cranes to make a wish to like put everything back to normal. It just, I don't know.
It reminds me of Kingdom Hearts 3, kind of, where you're like 90% through the game and they're like, oh shit, and they quickly start throwing. Oh, here's the plot. quick.
How do we put on the brakes?
It's just the whole time I was just like, at that point I mean, my mental state outside of playing the game, like I was pretty exhausted when I was going to playing the session, so I was engaged, but less engaged as I was, when every session beforehand. But you defeat Ollie, and there's just this like, oh, okay,
yeah.
Oh, you're making a wish, okay, It just felt like I was on a phone call that wouldn't end, and I'm just like, okay, like if there was some special crazy twist or some, that would have been funny. But speaking of funny, the last big complaint I have about this game is like,
it wasn't funny.
It uses the same like, oh, let's subvert expectations and dance. Let's have a dance number. Let's all dance.
Yeah.
Dude, you want to dance? Let's dance. Dance. Like, there's like 80 dance scenes, and it's like the same joke again and again and again, and it just doesn't stop.
I liked it when it was used for the Vellumentals. Like the first like Vellumental, the
turtle,
the turtle, like the cheerleading, I thought was fun. And then I liked it again inside of the pyramid, because that's the whole thing, is like the DJ. But yeah, the other moments where it just didn't feel,
because it's like it happens with the tree, and then it happens with the turtle, and that's the same. That's the same chunk of the game. And then it happens in the pyramid, and then it happens it happens in the Shogun theme park and the musical thing, and then it happens I think there's a quiz show with the shy guy quiz show. Yeah, and one of them just actually speaks.
I liked that.
He goes, "Here we go," and it was just like, what did he say? Words? I want that to be the sound my phone makes when I get a text. Here we go.
Here we go. Yeah. Well.
But yeah, it's the same joke, and it's just like, like is Paper Mario, like the moments like,
it's a family friendly joke that's really easy to make.
It's like moments like Bobby, and I don't want to cry in a Paper Mario game. I don't care if there's actual stakes, but the characters need to believe they're a part of a world for me to be interested in it. I don't want it to feel like it's like a theater arts skit where they're like winking at the audience the whole time, because it's like, I don't, I want to be invested in like a world, and it takes me out of it when you do it every 10 seconds, and it's not funny anymore.
Yeah. Well.
But oh well.
Overall, I would say my final verdict is, if you are if you're a Mario fan, I'd recommend it. Maybe not for $60. Maybe if you know someone that has the copy already and they'll let you borrow it. Yeah.
I agree. If you have the means, borrow it. I wouldn't pay more than $30 for this. Not a $60 game. Yeah. I've been very eager to start Ghost of Tsushima. And I finally
Tsushima.
And I have such a hard time saying it. I never heard anybody say it out loud before, and I looked like an idiot the other day. I called it Tessima. Ghost of Tsushima, and I felt like an idiot. But I can finally start that now. Now that
Yeah,
Paperboy
you
was
can let us
done.
know how that is.
Yeah, yeah. I might.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. This might be like my. This might be like my cheat day. Like my me. Just for
Okay.
me. Just for
Yeah,
me.
off the record. You
Yeah.
just want to play this one, not
Yeah.
as a games journalist, just
Yeah.
as a gamer.
Let me just. It's my cheat
I'm
day.
a gamer, just like all of you.
I'm in the words of Hannah Montana, I'm just like you, whose dreams came true. Uh,
A lot of those songs really still hold up. Have you listened to any recently?
I listened to Party in the USA a lot. That's one of my favorite
I mean,
songs.
no, I mean like literally Hannah Montana songs. Like
Um,
I've been on TikTok a lot, and a lot of like they'll use like clips from the song, so it's like uh it'll be, I don't know, I don't want to describe something that's funny. That's the least funny thing I could do,
it's
but
like
I've heard
nobody's.
a lot of them recently.
It's like nobody's perfect.
Yeah, the I'm just an ordinary girl. How's that? Sometimes I is that an Hannah Montana one?
I'm not sure. Oh,
Sometimes I
it's the
get scared.
climb. That one, the climb. Oh, it's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
don't know.
another mountain, because that was the
I
big
don't
song in the
know.
Hannah Montana movie.
Was it? I don't think I ever saw the movie.
Yeah, you got to see them. There's so many country artists in there that are just like, yeah, we're here to legitimize Hannah Montana as a artist in this movie universe. When movies do that
Is
where it shows like
yeah.
Reba and she's like, oh
Is
yeah,
Reba in it?
I don't know,
Is
that would have
Dolly
been
Parton in
fantastic.
it?
Rascal Flatts is in it.
I don't know. I'm losing interest.
Well, this is like, you got to think, this is like right after Cars and Life is a Highway. So they were like,
Yeah.
they were huge.
uh,
It's weird how
all
Rascal
right.
Flatts just stopped being a thing. But yeah, I'll
Did it
let you
stop?
continue. I'll let you continue. I'll let you.
Okay, hold on. So I'm on the Wikipedia page for Hannah Montana the movie.
Here we go.
So when it says like contents and I'm looking through, it's like
Sure.
plot, cast, production,
Controversy.
development, filming, accident. What was the accident? Let's read. On June 3rd, 2008, there was an accident on the set during the filming. A huge wind blew through a production screen into a Ferris wheel full of passengers who were extras for the movie. There was no serious injury. When the wind caught it, all the cables were loose. It started flying. Extra Brenda Blackford told Nashville station WKRN-TV. I was watching to see which corner of it was going to hit the Ferris wheel because it was unavoidable. Miley Cyrus and her father Billy Ray were not on the set when the accident happened.
Coincidence?
Just news stated. It was sabotage. During a break,
Nobody's
Disney
allowed
put
to
out a
know.
little-
No one's allowed
Yeah.
to know Hannah's secret.
Disney's cover up. Man, well, that was less exciting than I thought it would be. Man.
Honestly, that was way more than I was expecting. Because you were like, oh, let's read. And I was like, oh, shit, he didn't read it. So it's probably very anticlimactic. But then a Ferris wheel almost fell. That was the thrill ride of the century right there. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I control F'd, and there was no Dolly Parton, and there's no Reba McEntire. So Taylor Swift is in it as herself. That was, I guess, when she was still.
That'd be weird if Rascal Flatts were
country.
themselves, but like Taylor Swift is playing a different.
Tyra Banks was in it as herself.
That's weird.
Yeah,
I think Tyra
interesting.
Banks is on an episode of the show just herself.
Probably. She was. I used to love the Tyra Banks show. I'd get home after school, turn it on TV.
My mom watched me and my mom watched America's Next Top Model a lot when she walked on the treadmill. That's embedded in my mind forever. But something that's not embedded on my mind forever, just kidding, is this horrible year that we're all living in right now. And it makes
Cue the Pokemon Vacation theme song.
And
Pikachu's Vacation.
It makes me want to escape somewhere where there isn't a pandemic. So I figured it would be fun for us to share some ideas for where we should go when we cross the Rainbow Bridge into the next life. That's
so
too
we
dark.
get to, are we choosing our own afterlife?
Yeah, no, I don't know where I'm taking that. We're go. If you could go on a vacation to a fictional, Nintendo-rooted location, I didn't
Okay.
follow that rule. Where
Gotcha.
would?
So you made me follow that rule, but then you
Yeah, see,
decided not to.
I'm special, and the rules don't
Okay.
apply because it was a really good idea.
Okay.
It was a really
How
good
many
idea.
did you do? I chose 3.
I also chose 3, but one of them was really scraping the bottom of the barrel because I'm not 100% convinced that I would want to go there because
Okay.
I feel like it would get old really fast. But I'll talk you through it in a
Okay.
second.
Okay. So let's go like back and forth. You can start.
Okay,
Do
well,
your first one.
the first one it's a pretty obvious one. Isle Delfino from Super Mario Sunshine.
I figured you would choose Super Mario Sunshine.
It is a very tropical setting. It's very chill, but there's a haunted hotel there, which is a really neat place to inspect, explore, but not stay. There is a.
Do you believe in ghosts?
No, I don't, but I'm not fucking around to see if I'm not taking any chances. There's a really cool theme park there that you can go to and actually hang out. There's Rico Harbor, which is home to squid racing, which would I'd be very interested in trying. And then there's also I think it's just called Gelato Beach, and that just seems like a nice place to just sit back and relax. Very, very nice atmosphere. The theme park is just enough action for me to kind of engage, but then the rest of it is just very scenic and chill. Nothing's happening, and it's pretty small, so there's not going to be a large crowd of people getting in my way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I followed suit, and my first location is also a beachy location, an island destination. I chose Alola from Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Okay.
I think that would be really cool. It's basically Hawaii, but just with Pokemon, which is like...
Well, we also had a full conversation about what we would eat if we were in the Pokemon world, so what would
we did.
What's on the menu when you're staying in Alola?
If Pokemon were real, I probably wouldn't eat them. I don't think, actually. I don't know.
Fruit salads and...
So this was a difficult one because it was like, obviously I'm going to do a Pokemon game. I love Pokemon. I wanted to limit myself to one Pokemon location just because I feel like, it makes it more interesting. But also, they're all based on like real places that you can go or, I've been. And so I was trying to think of like, well, I guess I'd like to go to Hawaii. Like that would be great. So it's just Hawaii with Pokemon. Like Sword and Shield would probably be a close second. Like going to like, I don't know, the UK, I feel like would be cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I really do like Sword and Shield, but I feel like just the tropical climate of like Alola would be more my speed, I think.
I was really close to going with Pokemon as well. But I was thinking X and Y. What is the central city? Lemoise? It starts with an L.
Lumiose.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I overthought the what would I eat thing. And I would just after
Lumiose has a lot of cafes and stuff.
Yeah, after thinking about that, and it's just like I want like a theme park factor in there, something that I could choose to do if I wanted, and fit that in between all the sightseeing and stuff. And I feel like that wasn't enough. But I also thought of the island from Pokemon Snap because I was like, oh, that'd be cool. Like go on like a tour of different spots on this island and just take pictures of Pokemon and chill. And then, you go back to your resort and you hang out and you chill, you go to sleep, you wake up, you get in your vehicle, go to a different spot, discover a new path. Oh, I can't wait to check out that tomorrow. I'm going to go back to the resort and go to bed and hang out for the rest of the day.
So I chose Alola for Pokemon. I almost chose the Pokemon Island from the Pikachu's Vacation. What do you call it? The
Uh-huh.
short video. I almost chose that one, but then I was like, it's not really made for people to go to. It's like when the trainers get there, they just let their Pokemon go. So I'm like, I could, but it'd be just.
It's like the
I feel like
real world
I'm
equivalent of you
imposing.
going to like a puppy farm and just like running around. Yay, just a
Yeah,
human. You
yeah.
can't
I'm like,
communicate with anything.
yeah. I don't know. I feel like it'd probably be fun, but I think also like I'm just gonna let them have their space, and I'll go to Alola. So
Okay.
yeah. What's your second one?
My second one, and this is the one that I cheated on. And it's kind of in the Nintendo ballpark. But it's
Did it ever appear on a Nintendo system?
yeah.
Okay.
It's Station Square from Sonic Adventure.
Okay.
It's like a pretty small city. It has Twinkle Park, which is another theme park. And whenever you're not staying at the nice resort that features a really nice beach area, you can take a train to the Mystic Ruins and kind of explore an ancient burial ground and see the Master Emerald. You can go snowboarding on the slopes over there because there's a whole mountain range to snowboard and ski on. You can go whale watching from the beach from your hotel, which is nuts. And when you're not doing all of that, you can also go into the Chow Garden in the
Yeah.
resort and hang out with your chows. Not to mention, there's a fully functioning casino like 3 blocks from your hotel.
Yeah.
Other than the city being under attack by Eggman, which I guess it's only happened once, so you're pretty much safe. I don't think they're gonna go back there.
Lightning doesn't strike twice.
I guess not in Station Square, unless you count the RPG. But yeah, so I think Station Square would be really neat. There's a lot of variety of things to do, and it's relatively tame. Amy's
Yeah.
also seen
Well.
with some shopping bags in it, and a cutscene in that, so it leads me to believe that there's an outlet mall there or something. So that's also neat.
Yeah. Well, my second location is where I am currently. The Luncheon Kingdom, Mount Volbano in Super Mario Odyssey. I loved this place when I played Super Mario Odyssey. I like the colors are so great. The fact that it's like food everywhere is amazing. Like, yeah, on vacation, definitely I think something I like to do is just to like try different food and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, there's plenty of stuff to try everywhere. Uh, I don't know. I think I I think this would be out of all of the Mario Odyssey levels, besides maybe the beach level. But I think in my mind I was like, okay, well I already have a beach. I already went to Alola. Then I would go like I would want to choose something different to vacation and try rather than just a beach. So I'll go
Yeah.
maybe do like a little volcano exploration. I don't know. Hang out with the fork guys or spoon guys, whatever they are. Uh,
Yeah.
I forget.
The
I
fork
see one
people.
little baby one right here, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I just
that seems
I
like a
think
really fun one.
the Instagram photos here would be so good. I mean, look, this would be so cool,
That'd be so cruel.
so cruel.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have to worry
Yeah.
about eating any sentient life over there too. It's oversized food, and they do,
Mhm.
unlike most of the Mario props, they do not have eyeballs, so it is safe. Uh,
They're just a little gemstone like, so hopefully they I don't know. They're nicer. I imagine they'd be nice to bite into, but like there's the off chance that they could be just like a hard
it's just
chunk of
glass. You have
just
bloody
glass.
teeth.
I want to go home.
All
Yeah.
the forks are trying to help you, but they keep accidentally stabbing you because they're forks. They have prong hands.
What's your second location?
You mean my third location? Um,
Oh yeah, you're ahead of me.
it is Termina from Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
Okay.
And this one would be from the perspective of I would know I'm in a game if I were to vacation here. I would understand the plot of Majora's Mask while I'm here, because yes, the moon is crashing into the into the land of Termia, and the moon is terrifying, but using time travel, you're able to interact with these townsfolk and try to put a stop to the moon hitting the town. And I think it would be really fun to like spend a week there and kind of think of it as like an escape room where I kind of get to meet all these like really fun characters, and I get to feel like I saved the day even though I have like unlimited retries because I can just keep time traveling. So basically the threat level is pretty minimal because I have unlimited retries, and the characters there are so personable because the game itself is made where you're talking to each character a bunch of different times, so they have to be really fun to talk to. So there's a lot of characters there that's just like, oh, I could just spend days just talking to different people and just goofing off with them, and then save them all and be revered as a hero as I leave. You're welcome.
Will they ever know that you did it though?
No.
Okay.
There'd be a brief period of time where they would be really thankful, and then I would time travel and they'd forget about the time we spent together. But the memories for me would last forever.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah. What is your last one?
So my last one is from Kirby Air Ride, the city trial level.
Okay.
I remember like I have so many good memories, and this one's just based off of nostalgia, but also the fact that the city island thing is like divided up into different like quadrants of things. Mm-hmm. So there's like a kind of beachier area. There's like a volcano as well.
Yeah.
There's
it shoots you to an island in the sky that's just kind of there.
Yeah, like there's just a lot of fun things that I feel like it's enough
garages.
of a garages with cars you can just hijack and drive away. No, I just think there'd be a lot of variation there. So it's like one place that you could go that you could do a lot of different things. You could be in the city and do stuff. You could go to the beach. You could go in the little ruin area. Yeah, there's a lot of cool things.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I thought about the cruise ship from Mario Party 7 as well. And I was like, man, that'd be cool. Yeah. You'd be on a cruise with like Mario and the gang, and you get to do mini games with all of them. And Toadsworth is like blah blah blah, trying to host festivities, and that seemed like it'd be fun. And then go ahead.
Well, one of my like honorable mentions would have been, I felt like I couldn't choose it because I haven't played the game, but the last Luigi's Mansion game that came out,
I thought about that too, but
because you also get a lot of different variation there. I haven't played the game, so it feels weird saying like, "Oh, I'd love to vacation there," but I think it'd be neat.
Yeah, I think the haunted part is what kills it for me.
But like you'd be going after it's like not haunted, right? Like I don't know if it ever gets unhaunted.
I haven't beaten the game, so I don't know if they took over an original hotel or if that is just strictly manufactured by the ghosts to trap the gang. I'll have to finish the game and report back.
Let me know.
But
before I book my tickets.
If it was no longer haunted, I would be A-okay with staying there. On a cooking note, it is also not a Nintendo property, but it crossed my mind. But I thought it would get boring after like a weekend. It's just like, oh, I could stay at Cooking Mama's house, like a bed and breakfast from the Cooking Mama series.
I mean, not like strictly, but I feel like she's mostly
it's like in the outer circles of Nintendo.
Yeah.
But that would be neat. Like I would see it as a bed and breakfast, and she would make like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And she's such a positive soul, so I'm sure like talking to her as she's making stuff, or her giving you small tasks to help her out in the kitchen and doing these like mini game type things would be fun. It seems like a very wholesome experience. If you think any further into it, it things can get sexual, and
Oh no.
I don't know, man. Her name's Cooking Mama, Brian. I don't know what to do. So
I don't know what's sexual about that, but
it's weird that you don't see it, but that's okay. But
I feel like the Animal Crossing New Horizons, the the island. That was a contender. I feel like I've probably spent enough time there that I
Yeah,
don't
I
know if
would
I'd
want to go
want to
back.
visit it.
Also, like,
I'm like,
I feel
I've
like
lived there enough.
I'd feel like that would just be like a, hey, thank you for, but while you're here, do you mind? Like,
Yeah.
we really want to build
Doing
this.
tasks.
We really want to build this bridge before
Yeah.
you leave. Like, can you just?
Yeah.
And I just no.
Yeah.
Undertale would be fun. To kind of you kind of go to different cities, and that's another one similar to Termia from Zelda. There's a bunch of colorful characters you can talk to.
Yeah.
And little mini adventures you can go on, but not a lot of activities to partake in though, unless you take Megaton's quiz show and hope that he doesn't murder you. But yeah, that was.
I thought about doing like a train vacation, like doing like is it Spirit Tracks, the Zelda game?
Oh yeah,
doing like something like that where it's like you take like a tour around on a train or something. I don't know.
Rogueport from Paper Mario Thousand Year Door would be fun. You can go to Glitz Pits and this flying arena in the sky and watch these over-the-top Mario wrestler characters go at it. You could take the blimp ticket back to Rogueport and sail off to Key Hall Key and see real skeleton pirates along with your crew. However, the crime rate there is probably horrible. Given it's called Rogueport and there's a noose and chalk outlines of toads scattered throughout the town. But that one also be fun.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Any also one more. Any location from a Wario game would also be great. Not because it could be scenic. But just Wario has a tendency, anywhere he goes, he's just surrounded by cash and gold. You know, you just kind of go wherever he's going, and you just stumble across like a gold mine or like some. Yeah, that just seems like a thing. It seems like a fun little thing to do.
Just a little thing.
Just a tiny little thing to get them gold and then head on back. Head on back to Real Town. Yep.
Well, that's all my thoughts today.
Yep, that's all mine. About to go brain dead. I have a few more sentences left in me. What are your thoughts on death? No.
Where would you like to vacation in the Nintendo or larger just video game universe?
Let us know.
Fictional locations only, please.
It would be a fun prompt for me. I'll think about maybe making a postcard or something. I kind of wanted to before, but life happened.
Yeah. I started when Animal Crossing New Horizons came out. I started like doing a postcard for that game, and then also one for Doom. And I was like, oh, it'd be cool to like do these postcards. And then I started getting more into it, and then I was like, this is because I wanted to do it like the like traditional Hawaii, like where each letter has like a different thing happening inside of it. And I was like, oh, this is so much fucking work. I don't want to do this.
That's fair. But anywho, maybe we'll whip up another graphics thing for you in the future. Let us know what you think about our Nintendo 64 logos and Paper Mario and the Nintendo destinations. Just we want to hear what you think about things. We want to know how you've been. So reach out to us at Deskpopcast on all social media platforms, or drop a line in the comments down below, or at the very least give this video a like. That'd be nice. Subscribe. If we saw that somebody subscribed today, that'd make our day. So
yeah, well, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
Thank you very much. We'll catch you next week.
Goodbye.